The year is 1999. The world holds its breath. A sense of dread hangs heavy in the air. These fears, these anxieties, all stem from the words of one man, Nostradamus. Michel de Nostradamus, better known as Nostradamus, is perhaps the most famous prophet in human history. His cryptic verses, collected in, have captivated readers for centuries. But it is the doomsday prophecies that truly capture the imagination, painting a vivid, if often disturbing, picture of the world's final days. Nostradamus was not some cloistered mystic. He was a man of science, a physician who lived through great upheaval. Born in 1503 in France, he witnessed the ravages of the plague. His prophecies, often written in a mixture of languages, are notoriously difficult to decipher. Some believe this was intentional, a way to obscure his true meaning. Whatever the reason, Nostradamus's words have resonated through the centuries, consulted by kings and commoners alike. Why do we, in this age of reason, still find ourselves drawn to the prophecies of a 16th century apothecary? Perhaps it is the human need to make sense of chaos, to find patterns in a random world. Whatever the reason, there is no denying the enduring power of Nostradamus's legacy. His name has become synonymous with prophecy, his image instantly recognizable. Beyond pop culture fascination lies a deeper question. Do Nostradamus's prophecies hold any real weight? The story of Nostradamus begins under the warm sun of Provence. Born Michel de Nostradamus in 1503, he entered a world on the cusp of transformation. His family, descended from Jewish scholars, had converted to Catholicism generations earlier. From a young age, he displayed a thirst for learning, devouring books on history, philosophy, and the natural sciences. His grandfather, a renowned physician and astrologer, nurtured Michel's intellectual development, instilling in him a belief in the interconnectedness of all things. At 15, Michel de Nostradamus pursued higher education at the University of Avignon. However, the Black Death returned, turning the university into a breeding ground for the deadly disease. Michel, witnessing the horrors firsthand, made the difficult decision to abandon his studies and return home. The experience left an indelible mark on him. The fragility of life, the ever-present threat of disease, became deeply ingrained in his psyche. It was during these dark days that the seeds of his prophetic visions were sown. Driven by a newfound sense of purpose, Nostradamus embarked on a different kind of education. He traveled extensively, immersing himself in the study of ancient texts and the healing arts. His reputation as a healer grew, but alongside his medical practice, a deeper calling emerged. Nostradamus experienced visions, flashes of insight into future events. He began to record his visions in enigmatic verses, cryptic quatrains that would become his legacy. The pages of are replete with images of conflict and carnage. One compelling prediction, Quatrain 100 from Century 3, speaks of a great city stained with blood. This prophecy is often interpreted as foretelling the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre in 1572. The bloodshed, a stark reminder of the religious tensions of the Reformation, seemed to echo Nostradamus's words. While skeptics argue the quatrain's vague language, believers point to the specific details of Nostradamus's vision. One striking example of Nostradamus's foresight is his prediction of the Great Fire of London in 1666. Quatrain 67 from Century 2 speaks of a fire approaching from the sky, consuming a great city. The Great Fire, sparked by a baker's oven, reduced much of London to ashes. Over 13,000 houses and countless businesses were destroyed. This phoenix-like rebirth, some argue, is hinted at in Nostradamus's prediction, "From the ashes, a new city shall arise." Nostradamus's prophecies also foresee the rise and fall of empires and tyrannical figures. Quatrain 60 from Century 8 is often interpreted as a prediction of the French Revolution. Nostradamus writes of a great king stripped of his finery, evoking the overthrow of the French monarchy. The quatrain describes a period of chaos and bloodshed, resonating with the events of late 18th century France. While the connection is debated, the parallels are undeniable. No discussion of Nostradamus's doomsday prophecies is complete without addressing the enigmatic figure of the Antichrist. Nostradamus believed the Antichrist would emerge in the end times, a malevolent force plunging the world into darkness. The identity of the Antichrist remains shrouded in mystery, leading to centuries of speculation. Despite the ambiguity, Nostradamus's prophecies paint a chilling picture of the end times. These apocalyptic visions have captivated readers for centuries, fueling endless fascination. Nostradamus, like the Oracle of Delphi, spoke in riddles. His verses, often ambiguous and shrouded in symbolism, are open to a kaleidoscope of interpretations. This, many argue, is the source of their enduring power. Each reader can project their own fears and hopes onto the cryptic quatrains. While some seek clear premonitions, others argue the quatrains could refer to any number of events. The vagueness of the language allows for subjective interpretation and confirmation bias. Can random chance explain the apparent accuracy of some of Nostradamus's predictions? Skeptics view his prophecies as elaborate guesswork, with some predictions bound to hit their mark by pure chance. Consider the countless events Nostradamus did not predict. This selective accuracy, skeptics argue, indicates his prophecies are more akin to lucky guesses. Nostradamus himself viewed his prophecies as informed predictions based on his knowledge of history, astrology, and human nature. Could Nostradamus's prophecies influence the events they predict? This is the unsettling possibility of self-fulfilling prophecies. Imagine a leader, convinced of a prophecy, taking preemptive action, inadvertently triggering the predicted conflict. The prophecy itself becomes a causal factor, shaping events rather than merely reflecting them. While it's impossible to quantify, the possibility cannot be dismissed. Such predictions can create a climate of fear, influencing behavior in ways that make the prophecy more likely to come true. Despite centuries of scrutiny, debate, and debunking, Nostradamus's prophecies continue to exert a powerful hold on the human imagination. Why, in an age of reason and scientific advancement, do we still find ourselves drawn to the cryptic verses of a 16th century apothecary? The answer perhaps lies in the enduring power of belief. Human beings are storytelling creatures, hardwired to find patterns and meaning in the world around us. We crave certainty in an uncertain world, solace in the face of chaos. Prophecies, regardless of their veracity, offer a comforting illusion of control, a glimpse into a preordained future where our destinies are already written. Nostradamus's prophecies, with their tantalizing blend of ambiguity and apparent accuracy, provide fertile ground for this human need for meaning-making. His verses, like ancient myths and legends, offer a lens through which we can view the complexities of history, the rise and fall of empires, the ebb and flow of human fortune. In a world often characterized by randomness and uncertainty, Nostradamus's prophecies, whether accurate or not, offer a seductive escape from the chaos. They provide a framework for understanding the past, interpreting the present, and anticipating the future. And in that sense, perhaps lies the true legacy of Nostradamus, not as a prophet, but as a master storyteller, a weaver of tales that continue to captivate and confound us centuries after his death. For every ardent believer who pores over Nostradamus's quatrains, searching for hidden meanings and uncanny predictions, there stands a skeptic armed with logic and a healthy dose of doubt. These critical thinkers, far from dismissing Nostradamus outright, approach his work with a discerning eye, applying the sharp blade of reason to separate fact from fiction, coincidence from genuine prophecy. Their primary line of attack centers on the inherent ambiguity of Nostradamus's writings. The quatrains, they argue, are so riddled with obscure language, astrological jargon, and historical allusions that they can be molded to fit virtually any interpretation. Like a sculptor shaping clay, a determined believer can find whatever meaning they seek in the pliable verses, regardless of their original intent. Furthermore, skeptics point to the selective nature of Nostradamus's supposed accuracy. While some quatrains seem to align with historical events with uncanny precision, countless others remain unfulfilled or require such convoluted interpretations that they lose all credibility. This inconsistency, they argue, suggests that Nostradamus was more of a skilled wordsmith than a true seer, crafting verses that were vague enough to encompass a wide range of possibilities, increasing the odds of a lucky hit. To illustrate their point, skeptics often highlight events of major historical significance that Nostradamus failed to predict. The American Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, the rise of communism, the advent of the Internet. These world-altering events, which have shaped the course of human history, are conspicuously absent from his writings. If Nostradamus truly possessed a window into the future, they argue, surely these epoch-making events would have warranted a mention in his prophetic verses. The challenges of interpreting Nostradamus's prophecies are further compounded by the linguistic hurdles they present. Written in a mixture of 16th-century French, Latin, Greek, and even Provençal dialect, the Quatrains are a linguistic labyrinth, fraught with archaic terms, obscure grammatical structures, and cultural references that are easily misunderstood or misinterpreted. Over the centuries, numerous translations and interpretations of have emerged, each attempting to decipher the cryptic verses and unlock their hidden meanings. However, this very act of translation, skeptics argue, introduces another layer of subjectivity and potential error. Words and phrases that seem clear in one language can take on entirely different connotations in another, subtly altering the intended meaning of the original text. Compounding this issue is the fact that Nostradamus often employed wordplay, puns, and anagrams in his writing, further obscuring his meaning. He also drew heavily on astrological symbolism, a complex and often contradictory system of belief that is difficult for modern readers to grasp. These linguistic and symbolic complexities, skeptics argue, make it virtually impossible to arrive at a definitive interpretation of Nostradamus's prophecies. Even seemingly straightforward verses can become muddled in the translation process. For example, one quatrain mentions a great city on the Thames facing a terrible disaster. While this prophecy is often interpreted as a prediction of the Great Fire of London, skeptics point out that the Thames is a long river, and there are other cities besides London situated along its banks. The prophecy, they argue, could just as easily refer to a flood, a plague, or some other calamity befalling a different Thames-side town. Despite the controversies and criticisms, Nostradamus's legacy endures, his name forever linked to the allure of prophecy and the possibility of glimpsing the future. His prophecies, shrouded in mystery and open to endless interpretation, continue to captivate and confound us. But perhaps the true enigma of Nostradamus lies not in the accuracy of his predictions, but in their enduring power over the human psyche. Why, in an age of reason and scientific inquiry, do we still find ourselves drawn to the cryptic verses of a 16th-century apothecary? Part of the answer may lie in our desire to find order and meaning in a chaotic world. Prophecies offer a comforting illusion of control, a sense that some things are preordained, that our destinies are not entirely our own. They provide a framework for understanding the past, interpreting the present, and anticipating the future. Nostradamus's prophecies tap into our primal fears about war, disaster, and the end of the world. In a world grappling with climate change and political instability, it is unsurprising that Nostradamus's prophecies continue to hold allure. They offer a dark mirror to our anxieties, reflecting our deepest fears about the future. Whether genuine prophecy or elaborate guesswork, there is no denying the enduring power of Nostradamus's legacy. It continues to captivate and confound us centuries after his death. Centuries after his death, Nostradamus remains an enigma, a shadowy figure who haunts our collective consciousness. His name, synonymous with prophecy, still sparks debate and ignites imaginations worldwide. Was he a true seer, blessed with a divine gift to peer into time, or a master of illusion, crafting cryptic verses open to endless interpretation? The answer remains elusive. His prophecies, shrouded in ambiguity, defy definitive interpretation. They are like stars in the night sky, their true nature forever beyond our grasp. Yet we gaze upon them, captivated by their beauty, pondering the mysteries they hold. Perhaps the true legacy of Nostradamus lies not in the accuracy of his predictions, but in their enduring power to fascinate and inspire. His work, a testament to the human desire to make sense of the world and glimpse the veiled face of the future, continues to resonate with readers centuries after his death. In an age of reason and technological advancement, where the boundaries between science and superstition blur, Nostradamus serves as a potent reminder of the enduring power of mystery and the allure of the unknown. He teaches us that some questions may never have definitive answers, that the universe still holds secrets beyond our comprehension. And in that realm of uncertainty, where imagination and reality intertwine, the legacy of Nostradamus will likely endure, a timeless testament to the enduring human fascination with fate, destiny, and the enigmatic nature of time itself.